Hey, what's up guys? This is Oakley and we're going to be doing a online multiplayer battle. I will note that this is pre-patch and I'm going to be playing as the Franks and I'm showing you the builds here. My opponent is going to be playing as the Allens. So he has pretty good build and this is kind of, as I said, pre-patch, and so he's kind of using one of the meta builds, I believe. The Germanic Horsemen right now are very strong and they've been nerfed as of the latest patch. So you'll see his build here play out pretty effectively. The way you do it is you combine a bunch of these really cost-effective Germanic horse. I think they're second or third most cost-effective after Tagmata, so very good units. And then you have a big long line of these Germanic archers. Germanic archers have excellent range, so they can start, dealing death from a distance, and they can really keep you, at arm's breadth. And what they do is they move forward and they can get some pretty significant kills on you. And then you come up with your Germanic horse and you just make sure you screen those archers. Then behind that, you don't really invest much in spears or anything like that. What you go for is elite Atkatsiri warriors. And these guys are good because they have very high attack against, I guess they do good against cavalry too, huh? Excellent armor piercing damage. No, I was reading someone else against cavalry. Yeah, anyways, these guys have very good armor piercing damage. So the combination is you take long range archers to just pick apart your opponent. Your opponent is forced to close, and then that's where you come and you either engage, his front lines with the horsemen who are going to be trading cost effectively, or you pull the cavalry onto the wings, deal with them there, and then you move in with the elite Atkatsiri, and those guys can demolish anything in the center if you don't counter them. So I'm moving in, and I have cavalry on the wing, backed up by Germanic Spearmen, and what I'm going to be doing is pushing up with a bunch of guys. I'm deciding to rush this build because I know that my opponent has a lot of archers, and so I figured the best way to deal with that was to throw some units into the mix. So I'm going to pull my Germanic Lancers into the middle and countercharge his Alani general. I want to pull in a lot of guys here and also force his archers back, and then I'm going to try and focus fire on his archers as they reposition. Meanwhile, let's put this on slow motion. I saw the build and here was my take on it. I'm going to engage the center with one unit, draw his guys in, disperse his archers, and then move in with my Germanic hurlers and do some damage to his cavalry. Then I'm going to come on the flank with more cavalry than he has. However, my spearmen are lagging a little bit behind. I should have waited, but the problem with waiting in this type of battle is that, well, he has the advantage. Let's go here. We're going to watch, I guess, a charge on slow motion. I don't know if I press T, I'll go and fast forward. There we go. So we're going to get some charges up on this side, and I outnumber my opponent, like I said. Oh. And let's go ahead and pop out of this. So now I engaged on both of his units, Germanic Horsemen, against some Germanic Lancers, so maybe I'll get a little bit of an advantage, but like I said, the cost effectiveness of his troops is going to end up winning him that fight. I'm slow on my Germanic Spearmen, so they're going to be moving into this engagement. And my cavalry are now going to move around the sides, and they're going to get a nice hit on his elite Atkatsiri. So I should be getting pretty good trades there. On this side, I'm holding firm, and I'm moving forward with the rest of my army. His cavalry, I was able to draw them through the center. I figured I'd, kind of waste them on my units. He was able to take out my hurlers, but these guys are super cheap. And look at the quality of his cavalry now. They're down, well, they're not down too far, but they're down further than he'd like them to be, especially his general and his other elite Atkatsiri. They're uncomfortably out of position, and I'm going to start targeting his cavalry. So I feel like in this early engagement I've been doing pretty well. Now I'm going to move forward with my noble Germanic swords and just try and push the center. The problem is this build is kind of built for this. You engage with the cavalry on the flanks, and then you can kind of kite the middle. The elite Atkatsiri can punish you if you chase too closely. They'll turn around and they'll countercharge you. At the same time, these Germanic archers, look at them, they're positioned in the center, and they can get shots all the way, even if I were just sitting here, they could still shoot me. So the extreme range on these guys is kind of crucial to this build. It allows him to even up these cavalry fights. I'm tied down trying to get some cost-effective attacks on his elite Atkatsiri, which would have been a good trade, but my cavalry are just caught in this mix for a little too long, and the archers, if you don't press the center quick enough, the archers will devastate you. So this build is working very well. My other Germanic Lancer is caught in the mix with his Germanic Horse. It's not going to be going too well. Over here, Noble Germanic Horse against Germanic Horseman is kind of trading evenly. It turns out as of the last patch, it's kind of better to go with the normal Germanic Horse. The stats are pretty similar, and you just save more money. So on this flank, my assault is now starting to turn against me in terms of trading cost effectively. Now I'm pushing down the center. You can see just how weak his center is. On the left, I'm going to get a double charge on his Germanic Horsemen. I have some Germanic Spearmen to try and hold back his cavalry, and then I'm going to charge back against there. So I figured I'd win that fight, and then I would push up the center and clobber this. But he's going to prove to be very squishy. My line here is perhaps a little bit too thin. And plus the noted fact that in the last patch, I'll put this on play, as of the latest patch is going to fix kind of the anti-cavalry bonuses that spearmen have, because at this point I did get massacred, which should happen if I had a thin line, but it was more powerful than it should have been. And then he's going to engage with the elite Akatsiri, and once they get in the mix, I absolutely destroyed one of his cavalry units, but now he's going to be able to chase me, and always the support of the Germanic archers is going to be very, very powerful. So if you're thinking of copying this, it might not quite work as of the latest patch. I just wanted this to be kind of a battle that shows what the latest patch was and how things might change moving forward. So now he's cleaning up this flank. He was able to, clean up my cavalry. I got some pretty effective, charges on his horsemen, but because he had the support of elite Akatsiri, you saw they got no losses. Once they committed to that fight, they basically destroyed. And here, that's why some of the elite Akatsiri get into my guys, and these guys will shred your infantry. And take a look at this. I can't chase after his archers. There's a more pressing target here. I have no leftover cavalry because they've been tied up on the flanks, and so these Germanic archer bands on the flanks are going to absolutely waste my guys as I'm spread out trying to chase down his men. And this is the problem. Now my general has fallen. He was chased down by some infantry. Once the general falls, we all know that this is going to cause a chain rout. So yeah, I'm finally chasing down some of his Germanic archers, but they hold up pretty well. I mean, you can see them dropping there, but look at this. He's already going to start repositioning his forces away from where the archers are. They're going to turn around instantly, and they're going to unleash hell on my cavalry. And so anytime you try and stop, and even if you're stopped for just a couple seconds chasing down, here's another archer band group, you're going to get flamed by another archer group in the distance. So it's hard to deal with this with cavalry. Like I said, I had pretty good cavalry, but my opponent had more cost-effective Germanic horsemen, and so I couldn't really take out his archers, which is the strength of his build. It's a pretty good combined arms, and it's kind of what the meta is right now for Rome 2. So like I said, when I talked about the latest patch, I hope the patch does change up the meta. This is a pretty interesting build that you play against, but it's already becoming a little bit stale, so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out with the latest patch. Anyways, thanks so much to Wolf Diplomat for this game, for showing me this build. It's definitely very good, very strong, and well played. Definitely. We can go ahead and end the replay. Look at some of the stats on his guys. So his Germanic horsemen trading pretty well against my guys. I brought a lot of cavalry, and the Germanic lancers who got the initial charges off on his cavalry got initial kills, but as is the case with Lancer or Shock Cav, that's all they're good for. After that, they kind of lose, especially to these cost-effective troops. His archers actually not doing as much as I thought they did. It was mostly the elite Akatsiri. The problem was I didn't have enough units to tank these guys. I probably should have devoted some lancers just to taking out this main line, but the problem is any force I put in the center would have been outranged and easily picked off by his archers. So if I leave cavalry in the center to take out his elite Akatsiri, that gives my opponent the advantage on the flanks with his cavalry. So overall, a very well thought out build that played out very, very well. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.